are the outfitters where we're staying. It's a place that you can come, rent canoes, kayaks, stand-up paddles, and they give you a shelter to sleep in case that you don't have any reservation in the provincial park.
Nuestro camping. Todo esto entró en el pollo.
Okay, so this is where we are camping. And if you guys see, there's a ton of these geese on our field. There's a big open field. There's no lights here, which is good. I mean, the only thing is the view could be a little bit better, like on the southern direction, but you can see half of Scorpius. You can't see the full Sagittarius, the teapot, but and we're the only ones here today. There was a couple other people over there and there, 2 others, but they left this morning. Okay, right now we're at Killarney Provincial Park, but I believe it's all booked up. There's nothing left if you come this late in the year or book it this late. So we went to more like a private kind of campsite that's about a few kilometers away. Hey guys, welcome to the Joe Jaguar Show again. As you guys saw from the last week, I guess 2 weeks ago, could I fit all the camping gear in the Porsche that we needed to go camping? That's everything: tents, sleeping bags, foam to sleep on, all our food and clothing and gear, plus this guy in the front and back trunk. You will know that we did it. So I brought this guy camping to a gray zone, and because it comes apart, this comes apart from that, then that, and then this, you could actually, I took it all apart. It fit in the front trunk, the whole telescope, plus even our cooler, and then a few other things. So just wanted to show you guys or go over what happened, and let's talk about that now. So we were in about, I would say, a 2.5, or zone 2.5. It's not quite gray, and it's just slightly better than the blue zone. So that's why I'm saying 2.5 on the light pollution map. Sudbury is probably, it's actually more like 40 minutes away type of thing, 45 minutes away. And then there's a little town of Killarney. I don't know the population of that. Maybe I'll Google it, and by the time I found it, I'll put it up here on the screen so you guys can see. It was about, I would guess, about 4 kilometers away. So it's kind of like we're in the edge of a blue zone, beginning of a gray zone, so it's pretty good though. Now, it didn't go too well, and the reason is Friday night was clear, and as soon as we got there, put up the tent, do all that stuff, and then the couple that we were going with, they didn't tent, they were in her daughter's, or their daughter's trailer, so they kind of slept in there, but they already beat us there, type of thing, by several hours. So we were kind of tight for time because they were already at the beach and they already had stand-up paddle boats, and Angeles wanted to go to the beach and enjoy. I wanted to kind of set up, so I did set this guy up, but that's about it. After we just did a few things, the chairs, the fold-out chairs, we had to go. By the time we came back, it was starting to get dark, and then it was starting to get dark, and it was a half a moon. With the planets, I look at it in the city. When I go to the dark skies, I want to see the deep sky stuff. So since the moon wasn't going to set till about midnight or so, I figured that's the time that we have dinner with the couple, we talk and have fun and all that stuff. And then after that, once the moon set, we came to do some observing. Unfortunately, because I am selling this guy now, because I actually got now a 12-inch, that video is coming soon. You'll see it when you come out, what I'm going to do. So, but this guy's very portable, and if it can fit in a Porsche, it can probably fit in, I remember Porsche has no back seats, it's just a sports car. It'll fit almost in every car. So if you're looking for a large aperture that is very portable, a 10-inch, if it can fit in my car, it'll fit in your car. Anyway, now because I'm selling it, I don't have a shroud for it. The first night was so dewy, and I mean one of the worst I've been in 29 years in the hobby. If it wasn't the worst, it's probably in the top 3. It was so wet, and because this is an open design, the primary mirror was fine, but the secondary mirror was soaking wet. Soft tissue, I was just wiping it down, but literally every like 2 minutes I was wiping it down. And because it was so soggy, I'm sure the reflectivity wasn't bouncing that great, even if you wipe most of it off. I was very gentle with it. But anyway, because of that, all the deep sky objects did not look good at all. You know what I mean? I showed them the Ring Nebula. They were able to see it. I showed them Saturn. One of them seen it before, the other hasn't, so it was good, but I couldn't push the power. And this is one thing that I've always talked about. Dobsonians is not my preference when I do these things, especially when you're doing it with other people. But I am, I did get a 12-inch telescope for the deep sky stuff. But again, it's gonna be mostly for me from the low to medium powers. The one downfall is that you can't go high power. So I don't know, Saturn, I probably took it to about 140, about there, 140 power. I showed them, they liked it, but because of the mirrors were all wet, even after wiping them, it just wasn't the best viewing. I showed them the Ring Nebula, they saw it, the Hercules cluster, looks so-so, even in that kind of sky with a 10-inch. So it's just, it was partly my fault. And then, so after really just showing, and I showed Jupiter, but it was really low on the horizon, I would say less than 20 degrees, wasn't good views. You could see the planet, a couple stripes, once I bumped up the power, and you could see a few of the moons. So that was good for them, they saw a few things. But for me, I really didn't do anything that I normally like to do when I'm viewing like anything new. That was it. And because it was so humid, I just called it a night. There was really no point to do any more. So that's it. So the next night, Saturday night, wasn't clear. Sunday night wasn't clear, and it was supposed to rain most of the day, Sunday and Monday, because we would have stayed till Monday morning. So I only had one good night. And that night was so humid, it really almost killed my night. So I really didn't get any good viewing type of thing. So the second night, I was thinking if it would have been clear, I would have just wrapped a towel around and bungee cord over here and the upper and lower cage. And I think that would have worked. And if I would have done that the first night, I could have had probably a decent viewing, because then I'm probably sure that this guy wouldn't have do it over. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking if I did that, just because this guy is really close to the top type of thing, it probably could have dewed over. And this is where I keep saying, well, I got a couple videos coming out about dew. Maybe for, or even reflecting telescopes that have a secondary mirror pretty close or open design, you need the shroud, and you probably still need a dew cap to come at least another 12-14 inches, or it's going to be game over. Or some people probably would heat the mirror type of thing with like a heat source. That would probably be the best way. But because again I'm selling this guy now that I don't need it, and I got a 12, and but I got to figure out what I'm going to do for portability when I need something big. There's no way I could do the 12-inch. I think even though I'm doing something special to collapse it and fit it in, if we're doing tent camping with all the same gear, I think the 12 is either going to be at the max or it's just a little bit too much. But anyway, if I would have fixed that, I don't know if I would have had a good night observing. You know, it's some of the trials and the errors. You know, I've been to lots of dark skies, and most times I have not had a humidity dew problem, but maybe on this one particular night where I was in that location, that area, I mean, the closest lake was about, I don't know, 4 kilometers. Georgian Bay, which butts onto Lake Huron, is huge, but it's also 4 kilometers away. It wasn't like I was right on it. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong in this hobby, but I should have been more prepared, thinking that in case there was dew, I should have already wrapped that guy, and then if it was to do over after doing that, then there was nothing really I could have done. But maybe I could have had a decent night, but I wasn't thinking the dew would have been problematic, since I normally don't have too many issues with dew. But it did screw me over, and that's what you get sometimes, guys being into hobby long time or whatever. There's really, you know, and I was rushed for time, and by the time I got back, so it's hard to think of everything and then get things ready. And then the moon was out, so I didn't want to observe while the moon was out. But maybe that's when I should have been noticing if it's dewed, I gotta protect it, or maybe it would have been too late by then anyway. This is what happens sometimes, guys. Not a big deal. I wished I would have showed them like Saturn and Jupiter with my refractor, maybe on an equatorial mount. That way I would have pushed, instead of 140, you know, 200, 225, 250 power, 300 power. I think that would have blown them away. I didn't, and that's what you get. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you later. Like, comment, subscribe for you guys on the forums. If there's anybody that's looking for a video that I have, share it. And if you know anybody getting into the hobby, share my links. Why not you? Why not me?